Okay, how'd that feel, Greta?
Okay.
Just okay?
Yeah, like 7 out of 10, maybe.
Okay. How did everybody, how would you score that?
I thought it was good.
Better than 7?
Yeah.
Better than
Okay, and what made it 7.5? Okay, good. So what made it a 7.5? Flo?
Well, she looked at everyone before she cued us in.
Okay. So eye contact was good, Ben?
She looked confident.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I was telling Maddie last class time, is that sometimes you just have to take on this persona that I'm way more confident than,
Yeah.
or at least I look more confident than I really am.
Yeah, that's
And so that's
right.
that's fine. You know, it really is important that you come in. Obviously, your preparation needs to help you feel less fearful and less anxious, but that doesn't mean that it won't be there,
Right.
present. So you're just having to accommodate with that, but your preparation will help you overcome a lot of that.
Yeah.
And was she prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Of course she was, and we were able to see that. And then how did the group sound?
Great. Good.
The group sounds better when the conductor is prepared. Isn't that a remarkable correlation? Yeah, it is. And so that's really great. Now, let's talk about a couple of quick things.
Okay.
What was some of the things, was there anything that Greta did that made it a little bit less effective? Or maybe you had to really think hard about what to do at certain places? Or was just always really clear? Matt?
Well, just from the evaluation perspective, you were facing the sopranos like feet over to
Yeah,
them instead of
okay.
just having your feet centered so you can adjust around. So it's kind of hard for me to evaluate what it was like before, but once you got closer to the centers, it was kind of easier after that.
Yeah, and I would say, well, let me get some more of your comments before I jump in. Yeah.
Going off of that, when you had looked at the faces, it was like as you were turning back around, I noticed your face, and I was like, oh, that was supposed to be a lot more intense than I was singing it.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like, I kind of lost, I only got your elbow,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, I don't know what's happening.
Good. No, that's a great point. And notice that the people that said this were the people on either extremes. And that's really helpful information to process. All right, so anything else? What about the final release? Hannah?
Put her hands down real quick after she finished. There was no pause or letting it soak in. All that you did that as well.
And how did she release?
I only did it
With what hand? With one hand.
My right.
Okay, with only the right hand, and how is she positioned a little bit? By that point, slightly to the right. So that means these people over here may not have been able to see the right hand.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean you have to do both hands. That's not what I'm getting to. It's just be careful if you're facing one direction and you release with that hand closest to them, the other people are likely not going to see it.
Farther out, maybe, or-
Yeah. So I think Matt's point is great as far as just center yourself. You did wander a lot. You
Okay.
walked a lot
Okay.
when you conducted. So if you can center yourself a little bit more,
Okay.
just keep your feet pointed that way and then just use the waist to swivel. And don't make it quite so pronounced, like you're keeping a secret over here. Really, okay. Yeah. All right, so let's try that again.
Okay.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow.
Okay, now notice that time she did the left hand release. Was that clear over here?
That's pretty clear.
Yeah, why? Why was it clear for this side? Because obviously this side's going to be closer. They're going to see it. But why was it clear for you guys?
It was pretty
Because
big
it's right in
and
front of her too.
It was in front, it was a little bigger.
Yeah, and it was kind of in our line to see like when to cut off at least. It was,
Right.
Like if it was like back here.
She was still in an open stance so that you could clearly see. But in fact, everybody was. There was one moment that I felt like you were still a little bit shrouded to this, and that was again with the entrance of the bases. But you
Okay,
quickly
yeah.
came back. So I think that still was soon enough that you got back so they could see that. Now, you did a fantastic breath for the altos.
Yeah.
We didn't
really
see
good
that for the tenors.
Right.
Or I didn't notice the basses. Did you guys notice if she took a good breath? I just didn't see it.
She had really good, like, clear, like.
It was clear whether she gave a breath or not. It was kind of
Yeah,
a little hazy.
but the gesture was good.
Yeah,
So if
it
you
was a
could,
good pickup.
if you could emphasize more of the breaths with the gesture, I think that your, all of that will be married together really well, and they will not marry together, okay? Somebody got it, all right. Now, let's think about this. What is her face communicating? Is it active? And what is it doing? Do we see any variation of that? Yeah?
At the beginning, it's like really happy and joyful, and then I'm pretty sure for the faces, it's more intense. Still not entirely sure.
Right.
But
Right.
as you
Good
like
point.
turn background, I'm like, hello, there's intensity there.
Yeah.
Because your eyebrows are engaged.
Okay, and that's my next question is, how do you know if the face is being utilized and it's communicating these happy or more intense? What's causing that? What's sending the signals? Ben?
The posture of her face, when she comes down over to here to make it more intense, she angles her face down a little bit and
Okay.
also opens her eyes a little more.
Right.
She has her mouth open a little bit as well when she comes this way, and all of those things indicate to me that what she wants is something that's a bit more pronounced.
Right. So if your mom or dad were to call your name and they're doing this, Greta, and maybe it comes with that kind of like, and again, whether a word is said or not, but if somebody says and my kid does it, I'm like, that's sending a message, right? So these messages are the angle of the neck, okay? Also the eyebrows that are up or furrowed, the teeth, the mouth. Now I would say we're seeing a little bit of mouthing of the words.
Oh, yeah, I feel it.
So if you could take that out a little bit more. And then I would say one quick thing is sometimes you kind of lean forward just a little bit. And I think I want to see you just stay a little bit taller and don't allow your neck to push forward. So in general, you want your neck to stay centered over your spinal column, not pushed here. Now, if you can hear my voice as I continue to talk, is if I push my neck forward, you can hear the timbre of my voice that changes. And you can hear that becomes more strained and more tense. So if you do this, then you're going to get that. And I'm not causing my voice to do this, but as soon as I do that, it now opens up the resonance. So it does the same thing with the tension of the body. Okay? Now let's just try something. Why don't you step off the podium right here and put your back against the wall. Okay? Now I want you to conduct us for a few bars.
Okay.
And this is a good exercise to check to see if you're using a lot of extraneous motion. Okay?
So head against the wall.
Yeah, let's keep your head, that way you won't lean
Okay.
forward. Now, I'm not saying that when you conduct, you have to imagine that you're on a board. But this helps you identify, wow, I'm really moving a lot. Or if you put your feet all the way up against the wall, right? Because she was moving around a lot. This is just a technique for you to practice. Okay?
This is really weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah, okay? So let's just try the opening just a little bit. Now do musical things.
Can I like turn to them?
Yeah, but you gotta stay against the wall.
Okay.
Okay? Here we go.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow.
Now, how did that feel?
I mean, I felt like exposed the whole time. Like,
But did you see how still the torso and the lower body was? Then you step up on the podium, and now you try to simulate that without being completely stiff. But that really helps you realize, wow, I'm really leaning here, or I'm pushing my neck, or man, I'm moving my feet. If you do that against a wall, it really helps to expose tendencies.
I think it takes more confidence to do that, to be still.
Oh,
Because you
yeah.
feel more, you do feel more exposed to it.
Right. And then the issue is, can I still be musical in less motion?
In the face all
Right.
Yeah.
And then it forces you in the right ways
Right.
to be that. Okay? Nice job, Greta.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.